If you watch the news or follow politics in even the slightest sense, then you have an understanding that there's this great divide currently between liberals and conservatives. But there's a global issue at hand that affects all parties, and this is the preservation of the environment. As Ronald Reagan once said, preservation of the environment is not a liberal or conservative challenge, it's common sense. I grew up on the island of Oahu, Hawaii, where our entire ecosystem relies on the ocean. And I've had to watch as kids played on beaches that have slowly become soiled with plastic cups, spoons, knives, forks, bags, you name it. If you grew up on Hawaii as well, then you'd understand that we tend to blame our garbage on the tourists who are so set on having a good time that they didn't grasp the concept of respecting our oceans and wildlife. But this isn't entirely true. The truth is, every single one of us is guilty of utilizing single-use plastic in our daily routines. According to plasticocean.org, due to the increase in consumerism, 300 million tons of plastic is disposed of every year, and half of that is single-use plastic. That includes your takeout styrofoam Tupperwares, that includes plastic cups, that includes water bottles, that includes wrappers, just to be used once, ripped open, thrown away. And that results in 8 million tons of plastic that'll end up in our oceans every year. It's time for a change. As college students, I understand that it is unrealistic to volunteer for every single trash cleanup. And for me personally, I felt that my efforts have been menial or not enough because I compare myself to people who devote their entire lives to try to create a more eco-conscious society. They're going out and traveling, creating companies, while I'm just this little college student trying to focus on my studies. But I'm here today to try to teach you guys that even if your contribution is small, that it makes a difference and it counts. And how I hope to do that is to provide you guys information with sustainable companies that create eco-friendly alternatives for things like toothbrushes, phone cases, pens that won't disrupt your day-to-day lives. I would also like to preface this speech with saying that I understand that people who are struggling with money or people who have kids, it's going to be a lot harder to give up single-use plastic, and I respect that 100%. If the products that I mentioned today are not for you or they're not within your budget, that's fine as well. Again, I am only here to provide you with the information, and whether or not you act on it is completely your choice. Okay, that's the intro. This is the conclusion. Enter conclusion. In the era of convenience that we live in, it's easy to fall under the misconception that our damage is insignificant, but actually what we do has a huge impact on the future. Governor Jerry Brown once said, "Plastic in all forms, straws, bottles, packaging, bags, are all choking the planet. We must find ways to reduce and eventually eliminate single plastic products." As college students, it's difficult to pencil in "Save the Planet" to our calendars, but hopefully through this speech, you have learned of some plastic alternatives that will not inconvenience your busy schedule, as well as helping you do your part to benefit the environment.